Hello, my dear students. In this video, you are going to learn delays available in the VHDL. In the VHDL, there are mainly three types of the delays are there. They are delta delay, inertial delay, and the transport delay. Okay. So before going to study in detail what is delta delay, inertial delay, and the transport delay. First, let us study what do you mean by the delay. I think all of you know the meaning of this delay. Okay, so if I go for the any digital electronic circuits or any circuits, if I go, what is the meaning of the delay means after applying the input, we are going to get the output. So to get the output from that circuit, how much time that circuit is taking, that is nothing but the delay. So just we are giving the input, immediately are we able to get the output? So even though it takes the small time to get the output, okay, that is called the delay. Okay, so what is the delay? Delay is a one timing parameter. So if I, in the form of the sentence, if you go means, what is the delay means? Delay is a mechanism allowing or the introducing timing parameters of a specified system. Okay, of a specified system. Now let us move to the delta delay. What is the delta? All of we know the delta symbol, and that is just one small triangle is nothing but whatever delta symbol. Delta is nothing but what usually we are telling it is a one small change. Okay, here also it is giving the same meaning. What is the delta delay means? A delta delay is a very small delay. Okay, it does not correspond to any real delay, and actual simulation time does not advances also. Okay, usually what we are saying, this delta delay is nothing but it is not going to difference any outputs of the any circuits. Okay, this models the hardware where a minimum amount of time needed for a change to occur. Okay, that is nothing but what the delta delay. Actually that means it's one small or the minimum time any circuit is there means it is taking some minimum time to get the output. That minimum time is nothing but what the delta delay. Go for one example means what happens here. Just I have taken a one inverter example. This is the A, B, C and the Y. A is the input for the first inverter and the first inverter output is B, and B is the input for the second inverter. C is the output for the second inverter and C is the input for the third inverter. Finally, Y is the output for the third inverter. Okay, here you see how the output is going to change here, how the output we are going to get or how the delay is. So first you are going to get at the T, next output we are going to get at the plus delta, next is the T plus 2 delta, next is the T plus 3 delta. That is in the form of the multiples of the delta you are going to get. Okay, this is the A, this is the B and this is the C and this is the Y. How you are going to get? First here A, next at the T plus delta you are going to get the B, at the T plus 2 delta you are going to get the C, and at the Y you are going to get it 3 plus 3 T plus 3 delta. Okay, so this is about what your delta delay. So finally if you once again, if you summarize this, what is the delta delay means? It is a one small delay. Okay, next let us move to more on signal assignments statement. Okay, just you don't worry about that. But in our syllabus, it is given as more on signal assignment statement. That means these two, the delays, we are going to study under the topic more on signal assignment statement. So I think why they are giving this means, actually here these two delays, they are going to use the signal assignment. So that is why it is given as more on signal assignment statement. Here you are going to study the two types of the delays. One is the inertial delay, another one is what your transport delay. Okay, first let us study what do you mean by the inertial delay model. So here for this inertial delay and the transport delay, you are going to study what is the inertial delay model, its general syntax and the example. The same is repeated for the transport delay also. First let us study what is the inertial delay model. Okay, first in the first sentence what I told, it is used in the switching circuits. Okay, and here input value must be stable for a specified pulse rejection limit duration before the value in allocate to propagate to output. That means input value must be stable for some specific time. Afterwards, only you are going to get the output. That is the first point. Second point means, so after the specified time, you are going to get the output. Second one is, it is used to remove the noises. So to remove the noises, you have the input value is represented by the value of the expression on the right hand side, and the output is represented by the target. So this shows the syntax of the inertial delay model. It begins with the signal object, and here this is the signal assignment statement. Reject pulse rejection limit inertial expression after inertial delay value. So remember that this inertial delay value must be always, it should be greater than the value of this pulse rejection limit, and its value should be always positive. And another one thing important you have to remember is, here pulse rejection limit is not present means by default this inertial delay value is taken as a pulse rejection limit, and this reject limit and the after are the keywords. Next, here you see I have given the one example. According to this, I have solved this example. So this is a one simple example. So here what happens, this is 5, these are all in nanoseconds. For the 5 nanoseconds, there is change of states. Once again, for the 8 nanoseconds, there is change of state 10, 25, 28, 30, and so on. This is the input. So when you apply this, then when how this output is going to change, that we have to study. Okay. So till now we studied what is the inertial delay. Okay. For the some specific, that is what here it is called the pulse rejection limit. So till then what happens, there is no change in the output. In the same way what happens, this inertial delay. So okay, how much is the inertial delay? Till that, then there is no change in the output. Okay. First till 4 nanoseconds it is constant, and afterwards this 10, it is not 10 plus 4 only, finally we should take the 10 nanoseconds. Till 10 nanoseconds, the if input is constant, then your output is going to change. Okay, here you see 5, from 5 this is only 3, and from 8 this is only 10. So whenever these are going to change a state in the input, then there is no change in the output. When the change in the output you are going to get means from 10 to 25. Here your pulse rejection limit is the 10 nanoseconds. Okay, 10 to 20. This remains constant. After that, what happens? It is going to change the state. Okay, and once again it remains in the same state till another 10 nanoseconds. The input should be constant. Okay, once again there is no change in 25, 28, 30. When it is going to change from 30 to 45, here in the 40, from 30 to 40 it is 10 nanoseconds. Okay, there is no change in the input, it remains constant. So after the 40 it is going to change. At the 40 it is going to change the state and it remains constant till another 10 nanoseconds should constant. Here once again there is no change in 45 and there is no change in 48. Okay, let us hope all of you understood this one. Okay, if you are not understood, please once again listen the video. Okay, any doubts means you can put in the comment line, comment box. Sorry, comment box. Okay, next let us study the another one delay model, that is what your transport delay model. Okay, so what is the transport delay model means? First it is a pure propagation delay. That means so any changes if it occurs in the input, directly it is transported to the output, whatever may be the value. It may be very small or it may be the one big value. After the some specific delay, what happens? Your output is going to directly transported to the output. Your input is transported to the output. Okay, to use this we are using the keyword called the transport. Okay, let example is there. Just you go the same thing here. Transport is there. A after 10 nanoseconds. Here no pulse rejection limit is there. 10 nanoseconds is the pulse rejection limit. But what happens the output here? This is your input. Okay, this is your output. So here input is changing. Once again the same example I have taken, 5, 8, 10, 25 like that. But what about the output? So till 10 nanoseconds, there is no change in the output. Okay. Till 10 nanoseconds, there is no change in the output. Then what happens after the 10 nanoseconds? Whatever may be the change in the input, the same is reflected at the output. Okay. So till 10 nanoseconds, there is no change. But when it is going to change? 5. That means 15. Here at the 15, there is a change in the output. Once again, after 5, 8. But here till 10, there is no. After 5, then 5 plus 8, that is 18. Next 20. Next 20. Next 35, 38, 40 and so on. Just you are up till 10, there is no. 10 means 15. Next is the 15. 15 onwards, next 5 plus 3, 8. Here it is 18. Next 20. Next 10 to 25. How much it is? 15. Okay, 20 to, just you add 20, 15, that is 35. That means whatever may be the changes in the input, the same is reflected in the output. That is nothing but what your transport delay. Okay. Thank you, my dear students. If you have any doubts, put the doubts in the description box. Okay. Thank you.